can't leave you. I can't.
What is up, party people? Welcome back! Welcome back to another exciting episode of bringing this Camo S13 back from the dead. Resurrection. Alright, I need to put a break on my enthusiasm. Well, that's perfect because we're talking about brakes, right? Well, this episode, I'm going to be installing the GKTECH dual caliper brackets on my hubs. And the cool thing about these brackets is that they only make it so you have to add one aftermarket caliper. You don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money buying things twice. You get to use your factory brake caliper and retain the e-brake and everything like that. And this is the most inexpensive kit on the market to do a dual caliper bracket setup. And the reason we do dual calipers on our drift cars is because, well, to put it simply, ripping the e-brake is an archaic way of getting your car sideways. So I'll explain the dynamics in it. What happens to initiate a drift is you steer the car, you upset the car, and you lock the rear brake. You lock the rear wheels. Now, locking the rear wheels allows the car to rotate and start that drift. Then when you get to the position you want, the angle you want, you throttle. You basically let off that brake and throttle down. Now, I grew up doing this, yanking my e-brake. Now, over time, the e-brake cable gets stretched, and there's a lot of things at play, and it's not ideal. It's so much better to have a dedicated brake caliper to do that specific job of getting the car sideways, of setting the car. So, and that's what they did. So that explained. We're going to talk about what we have here. We got the GKTECH dual caliper brackets. We have our hubs and knuckles. We have these R1 concept brake rotors. Now they're cross-drilled and slotted, and that's pretty cool. What that does is when you brake, it builds up a layer of gas on this surface, on that friction. It builds up this gas, and so what the slotting and what the slotting and the cross-drill does is it allows that gas to basically dissipate, so your brakes can brake harder. And we want that. We want harder braking brakes, don't you? Don't you want that? All right. Well, we got these JAMAR dual piston brake calipers. Now, these things are fantastic. I absolutely love them. I actually know what went into developing these things, and they're used on huge trophy trucks. And they did a tremendous amount of R&D behind them, and they actually did destructive testing. So they increased the pressure and they increased the heat. They built this basically oven to cook these things in, and they just cranked up the heat, and they kept applying pressure till they failed, and then they went back through and then they fixed all the failures and all the problems and all the parts, and these are my favorite brakes out there. So anyways, without further ado, let's get busy. Let's get working! Yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna snap into these brakes. Yeah. Okay, come on. Alright, let's get right into it. Let's get into this box here with these GKTECH dual caliper brackets. Got the bolts. Guessing these are longer bolts because we are spacing out the rear hub. You got a right bracket, you got a left bracket. You got some sticker goodies. We like sticker goodies. Some stickers, those are fantastic. We like sticking those places. We got, let's see. So your aftermarket calipers have a mounting hole of 3/8, 9.52 millimeter. The studs used on the GKTECH brackets are metric 10 millimeter with two mounting holes in the caliper. The two mounting holes in the calipers need to be drilled out to 10 millimeters to suit. Okay, so I guess I'll be drilling my JAMAR rear calipers out to 10 millimeter. I could do that. That's not a problem. But I'm wondering why not just use the size stud that works. I guess they had their reasons. So these are the spacers for the factory caliper because we are spacing out the hub, which means that caliper needs to be spaced out. So hence, the spacers, don't lose these. ever. All right, let's jump right in. I will be grabbing my 19mm socket. Pull these guys out, set them aside. Tap, tap, taparoo. Alright, so pretty straightforward. That's going to center on there, as so. This guy's going to drop back on top, like this. Oh, we can't use these anymore, so I guess we are going to throw these away. We're going to put our new hardware in. Makes you wonder why I spent so much time making those bolts look so pretty on the other one. Now I'm just chucking them. Not throwing them away, saving them for future projects, you know. Let's face it, I don't throw anything away. If I see like a little 6.12 bolt like rolling down the driveway, I'm chasing it. I am chasing that sucker. Alright. Checking the fitment. Alright. Torque these guys from anywhere from 58 to, I believe it's 71. So, I always find it interesting when they give you a choice for torque settings. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want them to, do you want them to be tighter or you want it to be looser? Why is that? So, alright, let's get these things. That was pretty straightforward. Alright, I'll be moving on to the next one, setting this aside. Repeating those steps. Again, we'll save these for future use. Well, that looks good. That went on very smoothly. So I'm gonna go drill these JAMAR brakes out to 10mm. Why don't you come with me? Well, 10 millimeter it is. Now, if you don't have a drill press, I probably wouldn't recommend using your hand drill to do these. But you know, if you gotta do what you gotta do. I take them to somebody who does have a drill press at the very least. And they do make, you can get a reamer, you can get a 10 millimeter reamer, and you could probably ream those out to the right size, which might be a better option. But we're here, we're done, that worked. Yeah, let's fit these things on and see what we come up with. Now, I believe we have to set these on with the brake caliper, so we have to put them together, find our place in this world. Nice. I do have to clearance these brakes right in here. They're touching just a smidge. So I'm going to go clearance these guys. It's just a smidge. It actually doesn't make me feel bad to have to clearance these brake calipers. I guess all the aftermarket brake calipers are going to be you're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to drill them out to 10 millimeter. So it's not such a bad deal to modify them a little bit further. That's perfect. I like it when it's perfect. And then I'll throw these guys on. I'll probably lift it up a little bit. Start threading them on. Okay. So you want to make sure that and these, you can switch these, but when you put your brakes on, you want to make sure your bleeders are facing up. And since I cannot get a torque wrench in here, click. let's assume that's torqued. Get this other side in here. We're gonna do them tight enough so hopefully they won't fall off. Hopefully. Pretty tight. Doesn't rub. It's centered on there. Everything is good. We're gonna set this aside. We're going to do the same thing to this guy. Now if it does rub, it's not a big deal. You'll see it on the brake, on the actual rotor. So go ahead and just pull the thing back off. Clearance it a little more. It's not getting into the actual piston placement of it. It's basically a little bit of the trim, but you don't want to go too far. See, I'm just basically touching this with the belt sander. Just a little bit. You don't want to go too deep in here. This is where all the goodies are. This is where all the magic happens, if you will. So. Click. All right. The click is me making the sound of the torque with my mouth. I don't really have a torque crescent wrench. So, but yeah, these things are done. They look fantastic. Plenty of clearance in there. They spin freely. Now it's time to put the factory brakes on. All right, almost done. Getting right to the end. All right, let me grab these factory brakes and put them down here. Let's see what we got. Factory brakes. Wow. These things are a disappointment. Well, what do you expect for 30-year-old brakes? They just don't... They don't fit my aesthetic. They don't fit my motif. Man, I wish we could do something about this. Wait a minute. I got an idea. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Now, I'm not saying she's a gold digger, but she's not messing with some ugly brakes. That's just all I'm saying. Wow. Alright, now I feel a little bit better about this fitting into my aesthetic. These are going to go on fantastic. Alright, let's put these factory brakes on. Alright, these guys are conveniently marked right and left. Alright. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Alright, now a nice little trick to put this on, right, is to get a roll of tape, right, and just set your whole assembly on that roll of tape. It's going to keep the caliper pressed where it needs to be. And then, alright, so it's pretty straightforward. We just pop our factory caliper on. Right, and this is the place that we use these spacers, right? We throw these spacers in, and then we drop our factory bolts in place, just like so, just like so. All right, now we're gonna do some impacting. Now we're gonna torque these things to essentially the same torque that our hubs are torqued to. So it's 58 to 71 is what we can do. So I believe I got a 63. I'm going to pick a random number and torque it. All right. That guy back over. And that is done. All right, next one. Next up. Well, that wraps up the GKTECH dual caliper bracket with the JAMAR brakes and the R1 concept rotors. These things came out fantastic. It was actually kind of an easy install. Everything was pretty much bolt on. The only thing that had to be done was to drill the calipers and to clearance them a little bit. But super happy with how this turned out. I love the aesthetic. I love the black and the gold and how everything looks. And I can't wait to get these things on the car. That's going to do it for today. You know what? I'm excited for the next episode. I'm going to get these things on the car, get some arms coming in, going to get that subframe in there, and then we can slap some wheels on this thing and get her back down the ground. But I just love it. I love them. If I could hug them, I guess I can hug them. I'd hug them. All right, well, you know what? You guys keep tuning in, and I'll keep bringing them to you. Have a good one. See ya.
I can't leave you. I can't.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. See you guys next time. If you got small fingers, this is this is gonna be a lot easier for you. I got sausage fingers. Watch, that's the nickname that sticks. Everybody starts calling me sausage fingers. What's up, sausage fingers? How's life?